Well, welcome to the call, everyone. My name is Dr. Kirk Fisnick. I've got my friend Katie Larkin on the call here with me. And tonight, we're going to continue our series of talks where we've been talking about the age pill for the last couple of months and really talking about different things related to the age pill. And tonight we want to talk about glycated end products, and we want to talk about lipofuscin. And for those of you that are new to the call, Katie is a distributor with Sizzle, and so am I. And we don't get paid to put these webinars on. We just we do it to help build our team, because we do this as a business as well. And that's really important to know, because you can build a little business, and we talk about that from time to time, how you can build a business, make enough money that you can pay for your products and then some. And then some.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to talk about that as well. But we've been talking about the age pill because 5 years ago, when Tom Maurer Sr. formulated and came out with the age pill, it made a huge splash on the world. And there's research going on right now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars a month are being spent on research on how to invent, how to formulate a man-made version of basically what we have with the age pill. Isn't that interesting?
Right. So they're trying to take those natural ingredients and turn them into a pharmaceutical.
Turn it into a pharmaceutical. And so the product that you can buy for roughly, $60 a month, US dollars, once they get it so that it's a pharmaceutical grade, pharmaceutical, then at that point, boy, can you imagine what they're going to charge for something?
Oh yeah, especially because it's not really, well, it depends what they're using it for, but certainly medications add up and it gets really expensive, doesn't it?
It does, and that's the whole thing. Like when they made a man-made fish oil, it went from a $20-$30 a month product to a $300 a month product.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So for everyone on the call, talk about, we're talking about the age pill, what it stands for, and how, I guess, Tom came up with that name.
Yep, anti-glycation extreme is what he came out with. Yeah, I thought, when he came out with the name, I'm like, wow, I can't believe somebody hadn't grabbed the age pill, before that and patented the name, copyrighted it.
Yeah, the name.
So how lucky was he to get that? But so Katie, when you look at the at glycation is the normal byproduct. Glycated end products are the normal byproduct when your body burns sugar as energy.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that can create more glycation. Like you've mentioned iron accumulation.
Yes. Iron accumulation. Well, if we backtrack to, I suppose, the diet, the certain things that when you're doing and you're cooking and you're eating in foods that create more glycation. So obviously like sugary foods or your sweets and treats, but how you cook your food's really important. And since learning about this is why I love doing these calls, because they're so educational. And it was actually Ian that put together a really good presentation on AGEs. And, it was amazing to learn that how you cook your food determines how many AGEs are actually you're consuming. So if you
so what's the best way? Oh, you're going to go over it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go over it. So, so the way that you create more AGEs is when you roast, bake, fry, grill. All of those create a bronzing effect to the food, which of course makes the food taste really yummy, right? Because you're bronzing the protein and the sugars, and you're getting that browning effect. People like their toast a little bit brown. They like their meat, with a little bit of a brown on them sometimes. So the one way that you can avoid or minimize, rather not avoid altogether, but minimize the AGEs is the way you prepare food. And that is that you can broil, you can boil, blanch, or steam food. So as long as you keep a lot of water content in the food, then that actually reduces the AGEs. So you're not creating any bronzing, you're keeping the moisture in the food. So since learning that, when I've been, because I mentioned on the call previously, I've gone back to eating chicken, having organic chicken, and I've been cooking it, just actually boiling it. Like I have a pot of boiling water and just add it in, and literally only takes about 2 minutes to cook. It's really quick, and it just creates a really soft, tender chicken, and there's no bronzing or browning. It's quick to cook. And then of course you can flavor it with some herbs and spices and however you like to do that. But that's something that I've been,
basically making chickens.
Yeah, your camera's cutting out, your sound cut out for a second. I'm making chicken soup. Is that what you were saying?
Right.
I've lost you. I can't hear you.
Hang on.
No, I've lost your sound's gone completely. You might have to do what we did last time and dial in. I don't know, your sound was working really well and then your internet might have dropped out.
Hang on. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. It says DocFizz's network bandwidth is low. Okay, it's come back for a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah, and then if you shut the audio off on your computer.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
There you are. I can't hear you. You got the audio shut off on the phone. You need to turn the audio on the phone on. Says you're on mute on your phone.
Yeah.
There you go.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Yeah. So I forgot where I was in the conversation.
Okay, sorry. We were talking about, I was telling you how I was preparing my chicken, and you said you're creating chicken soup. I think that's what I heard you say. But I'm not creating chicken soup. I'm cooking the little pieces of chicken, and then, I add them into my meal that way. So I've just been really mindful of minimizing the AGEs, and they've found great benefits for people who reduce the AGEs in the diet.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I mean, we've gotten in a habit of frying and doing the probably the bad habits. So eliminating completely is going to be pretty much.
No, you can't. Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, you can reduce it.
Yeah. So, but Katie, there's some other things too. If you've got diabetes,
yes,
that's gonna make it so you have more glycation. And basically, when Katie's talking about how when you brown your food, it makes the protein, it kind of gives it that brown appearance. Well, when in your body, think of your body as being like a little miniature oven. It's at a medium temperature all the time. And what it's doing is it's taking that sugar that's in your diet and it's attaching it, it's gluing it to your proteins. And that's a simple way of explaining it. So think of it like that fried chicken. That's what's happening on the inside of your body, and that's just normal.
Yeah.
But as we get older, of course, it starts to accumulate more, and your body starts to run out of what it needs to eliminate that. So as we get older, I think we were talking about it last week, when you get to be 50, 60 years old, you've lost about 50% of the ability to get rid of this glycated end products.
Yeah, and that's a big problem.
Yep. And they found that when the problem with it is that when you have an accumulation of these AGEs, these accumulated glycated end product, what it does is it causes premature aging. Premature aging, and that brings on aging diseases.
That's right. And so, as you just mentioned, when you've got diabetes, because typically somebody with diabetes has challenge with regulating their blood sugar levels. And so when they're getting an increase in sugar levels, that is creating more AGEs in the body.
That's right.
Yeah.
So a diabetes and iron intake and cooking, how you cook, and your diet. Those are all important factors if you want to reduce your glycated end products.
That's right.
And
Yeah. So go on.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, yeah. So when you just mentioned iron just a second ago, a lot of people don't realize like iron obviously is essential for good health, but it is one particular mineral that if you have too much of, it starts to have a really negative effect on the body and can be quite serious if you go too high with it. So yeah, and that can accelerate definitely the aging process.
Yeah. Well, and then I was reading today, Katie, that even the thyroid can affect the amount of glycated end products as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So thyroid is really important, and typically your doctor really doesn't pay much attention to the thyroid until you start having some real issues with it.
Yeah, that's right. And it is really difficult because even to get them to pay attention, I was sharing with a few of my team about what I was doing at the moment. I actually did it yesterday. It's called an iodine loading test. And they do this test to see how much iodine you're actually absorbing into your tissues so they can determine your uptake. And then that obviously helps you determine, how much iodine you need to be taking for a really healthy thyroid. So I was really, and I'm going off topic and then we'll come right back to the AGEs, but just quickly, I was really shocked at how high they give you one tablet to test your loading. And that one tablet, guess how many milligrams of iodine it is to test? This is just for testing for this particular test.
I don't know.
50.
50.
Yeah. And so often the bottle says take 0.24 of a milligram, and there's 50 in one tablet. So it's called a loading dose. But anyway, I'm going off track. But the reason I'm doing that is because of like what you said, the thyroid is really very important for overall health, for hormone function, immune system, absolutely critical. And as you've just alluded to, the thyroid is also involved in the AGE, helping you to detox AGEs and, a number of other things. So it is really important to make sure that's on track. So what else did you read about that, the AGEs?
Well, they were saying that the problem with it is that the real problem is when you have hyperthyroidism, not hypo, and hypo seems to be the problem that most people have. But they were saying when you have hyperthyroidism, that's when you start having the issues.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
So that was interesting. So we want to lower those glycated end products and really, like I was telling somebody a couple of weeks ago, you don't want to wait until you're 60, 70, 80 years old and then start worrying about it. You want to start when you're in your 20s or 30s and start working on it early, because then when you get to be 50, 60 years old, you're not going to have the health issues.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've brought, before the call, I mentioned about just sharing a couple of pictures, and I'm just going to bring them up for a second. We won't keep them up, but I just wanted to share a couple of pictures here with everyone on the call. If you can, I don't think I can share at the moment. I'm disabled sharing.
Okay, let me, I think I can bring it up on mine.
Okay, great. Yes.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that if you just go present. Yes, yeah, excellent. Fantastic.
Yeah, so the other thing that we want to talk about, okay, we talked about glycation and glycated end product, but what about lipofuscin now? Yeah. Lipofuscin, when you see the four letters LIPO, lipo, we think of liposuction. What are they doing? They're sucking fat out of your body, right? So lipofuscin, right? It's when you're burning fat as energy. So lipofuscin is the byproduct for burning fat.
Yeah.
And wow. I kind of tell people the easiest way to describe that is if you've ever cooked bacon in a frying pan, and then you shut the burners off and you eat the bacon and you let that bacon grease just sit there for an hour. What does it do? It turns white and it becomes hard, right?
Yeah. Yeah, wow.
And
It does.
that's what it does in your body. So, you know, it's a little bit more than that, but that's a good visual that you can think of.
Definitely. And this is a good visual for everyone. So we're talking about here on this slide with the lipofuscin. One example is the back of the hands. So, you know, typically that kicks in around probably late 40s, early 50s. People may start to notice the accumulation of brown spots on their back of their hands or on their arms. And this is the lipofuscin buildup. And interestingly, you know, it can accumulate in all organs of the body. And this particular picture is showing that lipofuscin even starts storing in the heart muscle, Kurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Interesting, isn't it?
it is fascinating. So you really want to remove cellular waste from your body, and the sizzle product, the H-pill, has specialized nutrients to support the body to remove those end products, those waste products, that junk from your cells. So you can do the things. So Dr. Kurt and I have talked about the lifestyle choices and changes you can make with your diet, things like that. But, you know, this particular product does have ingredients in it that supports the body to do that. And it does become quite evident, especially with some of the testimonials, I believe. That's my opinion. But yeah, so we've got the next slide there. This is the one that we were talking about at the start of the call, Kurt. So
yeah, that's interesting. So it's so the age reader, right? The anti glycation reader. Cool.
Yeah.
But again, you know, I don't know how much it costs to buy it and things like that. Nobody's going to buy one to have in their home. But it'd be interesting, you know, if we were doing this, you know, like going out and doing a screening at you know at like a health fair or something like that. It'd be interesting to have one then.
Oh yeah, definitely. Really, really interesting. So there's heaps of studies. I love PubMed. And you can see this study came up. And so they're using evaluation of tissue accumulation levels of advanced glycated end products, so notice AGE, by skin autofluorescence, a novel marker of vascular complications in high-risk patients with cardiovascular disease. So they're using this particular tool that's obviously measuring the AGEs in the skin, and then they're kind of using that information to determine, I guess, accumulation in the body. I'm assuming that's pretty much how it works.
Yep. Interesting. Yeah. I'd never seen anything like that till you sent me that information today.
No, I hadn't. And this is why I really love, you know, PubMed, because if you get on there and so if you're listening to this recording, it's really a great tool. And yeah, there's a lot of science in it. It can get confusing, but you know, you can get good bits of information by reading the abstracts and the summaries about, you know, new research that's coming out in particular areas for all sorts of things. I mean, you can pretty much type anything in there and it'll bring up all sorts of studies. And, you know, you referred to this resource a few weeks ago when you were talking about, you know, how the body manages with viruses and stuff like that, and Senolytics.
Yeah. I just gotta, can you, what is that, 2015?
Yeah, 2015, March 17th.
Yeah,
so it was a while ago.
Yeah, so that was 2 years before we came out with the age pill.
Yeah, wow. And I'm not sure when this reader came out, but there must be more and more, I guess, devices like that hitting the market. And there was, when I was just on before the call, there was articles in the paper about these sorts of things as well. I was looking at that. So really interesting information there. So you can see the importance of really trying to take care of your health, and why addressing the concern of AGEs, advanced glycated end products, as well as lipofuscin, is really important. And it really is demonstrated in the skin, isn't it, Kurt? And these, you know, we've got some great photos here on the screen. So I've picked out 3 that I thought were really excellent demonstrations of the visible appearance, reduction of lines and wrinkles.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, you know, the AGEs accumulate in the skin and create the formation and contribute to wrinkles and spotting on the face. So as you kind of age, your skin, and it's really noticeable with younger people, their skin is very clear. They don't have much discoloration. But as we age, you know, the skin becomes more spotted, more discolored. But you can see quite a remarkable result in this lady here. I can't recall her name, but she had really good results. I think she may have been using the Sizzle Transfusium with the product as well for an even better effect by combining the two. So she's working internally within the body and then externally on the skin.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I went out to lunch with some friends of mine the other day, and they I hadn't seen them in a couple of years, since before COVID, and they said, "Holy cow, my skin had changed in appearance in the last couple of years."
Right, fantastic.
Yeah.
And we've got a couple more we'll show just quickly. Yeah, so this is.
He really had some big changes, didn't he?
Yeah, massive. So Leanne's brother. So I'm so grateful that this photo was shared. So again, appreciate that. He's type 1 diabetic. So when we've just talked about diabetes before, and this is why you're seeing such a pronounced difference when you compare the two photos, particularly in the skin. But interestingly, of course, he also felt a lot better. And I do believe he was taking the triangle too, so getting some good nutrition into the cells as well. So fantastic results there. So people look at these photos and think, oh, that's not real. These are real people, these are real photos, and these are real results. And again, we can't make any claims to cure, treat, or prevent, but you can look at a photo and make a judgment for yourself. So that is a great photo. And then we've got one more here as well, Kurt, that I thought was another excellent example. Okay, she is frowning a bit in the previous photo, but you can see quite a significant reduction in the appearance of the lines on the face, even without the frown. The skin's looking a lot clearer, the fine lines have diminished. So, another fantastic result. So yeah, I love this product. Really, it's our skin product. So for any ladies watching the call, if you're watching us live or the recording, you definitely want to be taking this product, if not just for the fact that it can really help to preserve your skin and your appearance for as long as possible. I think that's a great benefit as well.
Yeah. Plus, not just appearance, but it helps with with your aging.
Yes.
The whole thing is that Katie, whether a person is trying to live longer, like I am, or they're not. Studies show that you are going to outlive your parents and your grandparents. As each generation goes forward, we're living longer.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And so the problem with it is that because of our diet, because of our lifestyle in today's world, we are living longer, but we're spending the last portion. I'm not going to say how many years, but we're spending the last portion of our life not really feeling all that healthy.
Yeah. And so, my goal is that the last portion of my life, I feel the best, because there's a mindset involved in that as well. I think, Kurt, if people accept the fact and go, oh, well, I'm just getting old, that's just part of aging. If you keep repeating that to yourself, then there's no impetus or motivation to go, what can I do about this? Asking yourself, how can I support my body? How can I improve my health? Regardless of your age, if you're not asking that question to yourself and just going, oh, well, this is just how it is, you're not going to take any action to make yourself feel better. I mean, we were just talking last week. You said your relative's 103, still working on the 105, still working on his farm. I just saw an article the other day of a guy who was 100. I think it was 100, yeah. And he said he's never felt better in the last few years, and he's taken up exercise. And then I've seen this picture of another lady the other day. I think she was 76. She had started lifting some weights and actually putting on some muscle, and said she, feels fantastic. So, obviously for some people who have injuries, it makes it a lot more difficult. You yourself have had an injury, Kurt, and managed to overcome quite a few injuries. And so I know that you adapted to that and probably, reduced your exercise, but as you've gotten better, you've been able to do more exercise and walk more and do all those things. So, it's really encouraging to see those, I guess, examples, those role models to motivate us to try and excel and, just, push a little bit more to lift ourselves up and try and be the best version that we can be. I mean, I still was sharing a story the other day about how you woke up on the road with your foot next to your ear, and your
15
foot
years
was
ago, yeah. Hard to believe 15 years ago, they told me that I probably wouldn't walk again because of the injuries I sustained in that motorcycle accident.
Yeah, very, very severe. And I know that you told me that story, how it took you, quite a long time, and you had to push yourself to go for a walk around the block, and it was really painful, but you continued to, little bit by little bit, you got there. And then you've done quite a number of things to restore, I guess, the health in your legs. And now you're able to walk without pain.
Yeah, it is interesting. I was just talking to somebody about it the other day. After my motorcycle wreck, of course, I was in a wheelchair for a couple of years, and they told me that, even 2 years into it, they wanted to amputate my right leg because I had an infection that just wouldn't go away, and I just really given up that I was going to have results with it, and
Right.
and I remember one night I went to bed and I just was like, I mean, I wasn't even going to take care of it anymore. I was just going to do whatever. And
Really?
and the next day I woke up and the wound had healed up overnight. The open
Oh,
wound
wow.
was closed. And that's when I was like, holy cow, something's going on. That was 2 years post injury. And then I tried to walk, and I was trying to do walks. And like you said, I couldn't make it a block without having to sit down on the ground and actually lay down flat on the ground and just let all the muscle spasms go away in my body.
Mm.
And then I got to where I could go a block, and then I could go 2 blocks, and I could go 3 blocks, and pretty soon I was going, a mile, and to go a mile, I'd have to lay down 3 or 4 times just to make it that mile.
Wow.
And now I go walking every day with my dogs, and we do, I mean, really, I could probably go a lot further, but I've got a 15-year-old black lab, and he kind of determines how far we walk now. I mean, because he does the same thing that I did. We'll go for a walk, and he'll lay down, and it's like, he'll lay down for the second time, and it's like, okay, it's time to turn around and go home. But that's as far as he goes.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. And it's just, such a joy to be able to get outside, be in the outdoors, enjoy some exercise. Exercise really boosts those endorphins. They say exercise. I remember a friend had this t-shirt, exercise, the drug of choice, because, exercise boosts the endorphins. And they say, regular exercise, it can be a lot, even stronger than an antidepressant tablet. So, you
Right.
obviously want to do everything you can if you've been prescribed that. I'm not saying stop your antidepressants,
Yeah.
follow your doctor's
Well,
advice.
exercise is the best way to lengthen your telomeres anyhow.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and we've talked
Yeah.
about that on the previous call. So I guess if we wrap up, we're just coming up to the half hour here. So we've talked about, lifestyle changes that you can do. And we're talking about, a particular product, the AGE pill, the age pill with specialized nutrients that support the body to remove that glycation and remove the lipofuscin. So once you start doing that, Kurt, what do people notice with that? And, just to, I guess, summarize in the benefits.
Well, I mean, I noticed, like, I'll just tell you my own testimony. I mean, as soon
Yeah.
as I started using it, started using the age pill, and I did the double dose, like, like Tom had suggested that we do. And what I started noticing is that my memory came back. I used to have just a crack shot of a memory. I mean, people could tell me their phone number and I didn't have to write it down. I would just remember it, and I'd go shopping, and I had all 3 of my credit cards memorized. I knew my credit card numbers, and I didn't have to pull out the credit card. I just knew the numbers. If I ordered something online, I just had the numbers memorized. And over time, that kind of went away. But after I started taking the H pill, again, that came back. So that was one of the things. I didn't have all those Post-it notes in my pocket. The other thing that I noticed is that I was out walking with my dog, And this was like, oh, maybe 2 or 3 months after the product came out. And I just happened to notice that, wow, I'm hearing things better. I could hear the wildlife out in the trees running around, and I could see better, and things were more clear, and that just continued to get better to the point of where I'm 60 years old, Katie, and I don't have to wear glasses, and I don't wear reading glasses. I can go out and in dim lights in a restaurant, I can read the menu, where a lot of people my age, they have to use their phone to shine on the menu so they can see what they're reading. They have to get out their reading glasses, and they're cheaters, and so they can see it, and that all went away. And just better sleep and better overall just feeling of wellness. That's what I've noticed by taking it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, that's just great information there. I hope everyone's enjoyed the information we've shared today. And I appreciate you getting on the call. So I guess we probably wrap it up there, Kurt. We're on the half hour.
You bet. If you're watching this video and you're going, hey, it sounds interesting, I might like to try it. Don't just take it for a couple of weeks and go, oh, it didn't work for me. Sometimes some people have to take it for a longer period of time to get the same kind of results that we're talking about. I remember, we had a couple of people that, it was 2-3 months into it before they really started going, holy cow, I'm noticing those kind of changes that Kurt and Katie were talking about. And even if you don't notice any miraculous, changes, the thing about it is that we know that it's working. As you remove that lipofuscin and you remove that glycation, it's going to make you healthier. And the other thing that the ingredients do, we can't say that our product does, because we're not a research facility. We haven't been tested by the FDA or anything like that. We can't make any medical claim. But remember that as your body's healing, your body's going to kind of do its own triage on its own. And so your vision, your memory, they may not be the most important things. Your body, your immune system might say, hey, there's something going on over here that we're going to take care of, and it may not even be causing any symptoms. So, Katie, I had the flushing for the first time yesterday.
Really?
From taking it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just a little bit, but I'm like, oh wow, that's what the flushing is. But I took 18 of the tablets, so I took a triple dose. But
fantastic. Well, I'm pleased to hear that.
All right. Thanks for being here, everyone. Katie, thanks for being with us every week.
Thank you.
And folks, get back to the person that brought you here. Let them know that you're interested in giving it a try, and give it a try, a good, honest try. 3 months, 4 months, just do it.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dr. Kurt. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.